the 4 dimensions of expansion revenue. So expansion revenue is whenever you get more money from the same account in later periods as compared to the first period. Not working with it and not working with it in a systematic and strategic fashion is just, well, then you just hate money, right? Okay, so here they are. So if we have a customer and they're currently buying something for us from $100, one way to expand them is to sell them different kinds of products. So let's say that we have them on a basic version of our software. We could sell them the advanced version. We could sell them another add-on. We could sell them a new module, a service, whatever it is. So they buy another thing from us. So new functionality, another product than what they're currently buying. So more revenue. Or we could sell them more of that product. So if your pricing model runs on, let's say, a price per user or price per gigabyte or whatever it is, they can buy more users and more gigabytes in that same product that they're already buying, right? The third way is that you can increase the price. So if they're paying you $100 to have, let's say, a user on the product, then you can charge them $200 for that same user on that same product. So same product, same volume, higher price, right? Means more revenue. And then, of course, the last thing is that you can do it for longer. So let's say that your average churn rate is 25%, so you have a customer for 4 years. If you can lower it to 20%, you would have the customer for 5 years. So instead of paying you $400, they would pay you $500, right? Now, the thing to realize is that they multiply. So they're not linear. The relationship is multiplicative. So sometimes I liken this to a cube. So if you have, let's say this is a 4-dimensional cube, it moves through time. So that's why I say these sort of 3 here, they can be a cube. So we have 3 dimensions. We have the product here. We have the volume over here. Let's do a bigger P. And then we have the price here. If we have a cube that is this size, that's nice. But if we sell them more volume, then we will also increase the other dimensions, right? And if we then sell them more product, then everything increases, right? And if we sell them more price, then the cube just gets really super big, super fast. So the idea is if we double the product, sell them twice as much volume, and double the price, we will have a 2, 4, 8 time increase on the value of that customer. I had a customer recently, they sell a lot of sort of e-commerce software to, and actually not just e-commerce, but also brick and mortar software. So what they do is they have a lot of different products. Maybe they have 10 products. And they figured out that only 25% of their enterprise customers bought more than one product. So we said, okay, so we have 10 products. All of them are useful and valuable to your enterprise customers. So we're saying, well, at least where you are, you could, just by getting all of your enterprise customers to buy 2 products, you would probably triple your revenue from where you are. And if you could get all of your enterprise customers to buy 5 products, you would have something like 5x your revenue on something like this, without selling them more volume through the product, without increasing the price, without increasing the customer lifetime value. The beauty, however, if you do something like this is that if you sell them more products, usually there will also over time be some more volume. Let's say like you start to become a standard use software in the organization, so they will add more users, or they will run more orders through your system, or they will do whatever it is that your system does, so, or more revenue, whatever it is that your pricing metric is. So you likely get more units as well. Over time, because the customer is now more invested in your product, you can also raise prices, right? And because your customers now have more invested in the product, it's harder to churn. It's just more sticky when they're using a lot of your product, which also means that churn rate drops, so the retention and the customer lifetime actually increases. So we can see that both in a practical way, they tend to actually have a positive loop effect, that if you sell them more of something, usually the others will actually follow. And then the compounding effect actually is that they multiply. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16 times more valuable for an account, not just like plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 for a 4 times more value. So it's just one of the things where we can generate tremendous value from a customer or from a customer base by just realizing what the ideal state of those customers is. You're currently selling one product on average, but you have 3 to sell, and you currently have, let's say, 100 of volume, but the customer actually would have 1,000 here, and you're currently selling it for, let's say, an index of 1, but you might be able to go to 1.2 would be your fair value price, and maybe you're keeping them for 5 years, but you could get them to 6, right? So here you have a 3x, here you have a 10x, here you have a 1.2x, and here you have a 1.2 as well, right? And then you multiply together, so 3, 30, 36, and then what 0.2 of this is like something like 43. They bring in 43 times as much revenue than they currently do if we just get them to their ideal state of where they should be. So compared to the sort of the 1 that is the current benchmarks, or the index that we have here, we have more than 4,000% of growth by just expanding our existing customer base if we like maximize to the ideal state for the customer base that we have. So this is sort of a way that you can look at, like, well, where's my growth going to come from, right? Do I have some easy wins here where I can just like cross-sell some of my customers and they will really appreciate it, right? Or we can just get more volume by maybe incentivizing it in some way or running a promotion on it or something. Or could I just raise the prices, right? And either one of these are just like baby steps where you sort of grow into this over a couple of years. But not working with it and not working with it in a systematic and strategic fashion is just, well, then you just hate money, right? So it's just a really sort of key framework in understanding how you get a tremendously valuable business. Okay, last point is that if you bring in 43 times as much revenue on your customers compared to where you are today, let's say if you're this guy in your marketplace and your competitor is this guy in your marketplace, that means that your lifetime value on your customers is 40 times larger than your competitors. Then who's going to win that account when you have to auction for the sale? That's how you win a market. You don't win a market by having really, really efficient customer acquisition cost. You win the market by having the best customer lifetime value. I hope this is helpful. I hope this gives you another way to look at your business. This is a framework I use a lot to see especially where the easy wins are,